If we don't get to these children in those very early formative years, we've really missed our best opportunity.
If you set a goal of ensuring all children start school prepared to thrive.
That early literacy and the love of learning, it's just so important.
Children who have their needs met, whether they be social or developmentally or even healthcare needs met, are going to be happier children.
You would look for ways to make that happen.
Choosing the right child care setting is the most important decision that parents have to make.
Ways to identify family strengths.
You'd begin by helping little ones have access to committed teachers and a quality curriculum right from the beginning. You'd create family and community support.
We have to work with the child in the context of the family, and the family in the context of the community in which they live. It's all of us working together.
And early child development is a part of the education system, and we can't ignore it. We have to connect it.
All of it is part of Elaine Pinson Draeger's legacy. In her 30 years with Sheltering Arms, Elaine has changed both lives and the systems that shape them. Sheltering Arms Vice President of Operations, Gwen Wright.
Sheltering Arms was not well known. It was the best kept secret. We provided quality care, but it was the best kept secret in Atlanta. And we would walk from Baker Street, where we were, down to the Capitol. They used to have a cafeteria there that had picnic tables with umbrellas. And she would call it our Umbrella Summit. And we would sit there, and our mission was to make Sheltering Arms and quality care synonymous.
Volunteer, board member, and immediate past board chair, Tim Packenham.
Her legacy, of course, is the difference that she and the organization have made in the lives of so many people.
Sheltering Arms Director of Family Services, Virginia Baker.
She's a lady of excellence, a lady of integrity, and she believes in what she's doing. The passion she has, you can see it in the work that she does.
Thanks to Elaine, more than 34,000 children across Atlanta have started their promise of successful lives at Sheltering Arms. Sheltering Arms Vice President of Development and Communication, Paige McKay-Cubic.
I think her real legacy is getting people to realize that this is education, that this is not just babysitting children so parents can go to work.
Longtime Sheltering Arms volunteer and honorary board member, Virginia Williams.
No telling how many children and families have benefited in Atlanta, the Southeast, and even further than that, from what she has made happen here.
How are you today, sir?
Sheltering Arms Vice President, Georgia Training Institute, Diane Bellum.
She wanted to create a place where people feel welcome and where people feel wanted and where people feel special.
Elaine's Caring Arms have embraced kids in early childhood education everywhere. Director of the Annie E. Casey Foundation Atlanta Civic Site, Gail Hayes.
You know, we're a national foundation, so I get to see high quality early care and education programs around the country. Her legacy is this network of 16 centers that are considered the highest quality in the country.
12 ounces in there.
Elaine has devoted her life to children. As a former high school cheerleader and the daughter of a coach, Elaine is a born motivator. Executive Director, Georgia Association for Young Children, Pat Minish.
Her reputation for believing in children and wanting the best for children and families, and also her reputation about being a good employer and how Sheltering Arms was such a good place to work.
Sheltering Arms teacher, Shironda Billingsley, and her daughter, Epiphany Harris.
The year I was hired was the year her and Gwen got promoted into the position that they have. So Elaine asked Gwen, who is that? So Gwen said, that's Shy. She's new, but she's good. She's a little rough around the edges. Elaine said, so buff her out. Buff her out.
One of her greatest gifts as a leader is her way of connecting with her staff. Vice President of Administrative Services, Lynn Wigington.
I think I've learned from Elaine that to dot the I's and cross the T's before she comes and does it for you.
When she's in the office, she finds a way to connect with every single person. One of the first things she does when she comes in the morning is walks around and says good morning to every single person and checks in and sees how you're doing and what are you working on today.
Her leadership style is very inclusive. I've learned that it's important to always be available.
I read something recently about leaders are the people that raise their hand and put themselves out there, and so that's what I admire about Elaine.
Whatever I needed, they were always there. She was always there. Even with me going back to school, I was pitting and patting around. She called me and said, come here. I need you to go back to school. I need for you to go. Whatever you need, I need for you to go. And I have my class ring.
I call Miss Elaine my Nana, and that woman, she is awesome.
Elaine's the reason Sheltering Arms centers have very low staff turnover rates among child care centers.
At our staff awards day, we did a flash mob. All 650 Sheltering Arms employees were wearing Elaine masks to do the flash mob. You know, it was funny and we had a good time, but I think it was kind of symbolic that she really has made each of us better people.
She's never satisfied with good enough. I mean, that's what I really admire the most. She is one of those people who, you know, she could have rested on her laurels for the past couple of years, but instead she launched, you know, a major campaign. You know, I thought, who does that?
Her life is the 3,000 kids that we're dealing with every day, and it eats at her that we can't take care of the 4,000 that are on the waiting list.
Now, as she prepares to retire and spend more time with her groom of nearly 44 years, we salute and thank her.
This is from a book called Advice from a Tree. Once a very old man was planting trees. Someone came up to him and asked, "Why are you planting trees? You'll never be around to see them mature." His reply was simply, "I do not plant them for myself. I plant them for future generations." And I thought about Elaine. She has planted trees and planted seeds, and the roots have really gone deep.
I just want to say, not goodbye, Elaine, never. But thanks for everything you've done and continue to do through your work here. God bless you and Godspeed in whatever you do. And have a wonderful time on those cruises you plan to take.
I love her dearly. I wish her well in her well-deserved retirement.
To be able to work side by side with my hero for 11 years and to learn from her and to be mentored by her is an incredible gift professionally. I'm going to miss her terribly.
I just want to say thank you to her. Thank you for allowing me to be a part of her team, and thank you for the journey that we've shared together. I love you.
This comes from a book called Perseverance by Margaret Whitley. A busy executive was speaking to her 6-year-old niece at the end of a particularly busy day, and frustrating day at that. She'd spent the better part of the day trying to get her new printer installed. Nothing had worked, and she was very exhausted and frustrated. So on the phone with her young niece, she described in general terms how frustrated she was. Her niece asked, "Did you try hard?" "Yes," she replied. "Did you try really, really hard?" "Yes, I did." "Well then," said the 6-year-old, "now it's time to go out and play." And that's what I want to say to Elaine. Now it's time to go out and play.